Okay, here are the top 5 reasons why you should look for a new property management company. Number one, they're affordable. The average rental property in Chattanooga area is $1,600 a month. The average property management company charges 10%. That means you're spending about $160 when that property is leased out per month. Here at Property Rush, we just charge a flat $100 fee. Number two, great communication. You typically don't want to hear from your property manager, but when you do, you want to make sure that they call you with a solution, that you hear about issues like non-payment or issues with repairs. So if they're not communicating with you efficiently, you should probably look elsewhere. Number three is software. If you're not using Appfolio, you should probably look elsewhere. You are doing a massive disservice to both yourself as well as the property manager. They should be using Appfolio. Here's why. The accounting software is second to none. So monthly reports come in. You also have the reports for your CPA to hand to them at the end of the year. All of that is taken care of for you within the app. Portals, both the owner and tenant have portal access. The tenant portal access allows them to request maintenance and to provide photos and inspection reports and descriptions of any issues that they might have that you can share with vendors as well as the owners and the property manager. So Appfolio allows all of this to take place. Number four, they utilize third-party vendors. So what are those? For showings, for example, we have remote showings, which just means that we have a remote lockbox where people can access it essentially anytime that they want to take a look at the property, as long as they provide us with their ID verification of who they are. So this allows us to get more showings and allows properties to lease out much quicker. A second feature that we use is pet screening. We now have essentially a credit score for pets. So we no longer have to make the determination of different pet breeds and which ones qualify, which ones have been spayed, neutered, which ones have shots, all of those questions, especially if it's a service animal or if there's a fake service animal ID, which does happen often. They have a way of verifying all that information. They will provide the results with you. There is no additional cost to you as the owner. There is no reason why you should not be using a service like that. Another huge third-party vendor for us is we use a company that allows tenants to essentially get insurance on their deposit, and they can make small payments rather than having massive move-in expenses up front. They can then opt for the insurance route, which they make payments over that 1 year period or however long the lease is. The best part for the owner by going this route is if they leave the property damaged and the deposit does not cover the amount of damages, they have gap insurance. So how often has that happened for you when a bad tenant moves out, they trash the place, you're left with $10,000 in repairs and they only have $1,000 deposit. This covers that gap. Huge benefit to the owners. Number five is probably the most important: maintenance. We all know that maintenance can make or break a property. You can turn an amazing investment into one of the worst nightmares of your life, and it can happen quickly. So what we found is if you hear the words in-house management, you should probably run. Reason being, you don't know who those people are that are in-house management. If it's just a handyman that does not have a license, is not warranted, and you don't know the quality of workmanship and how much they're paying that person. Is it hourly? Is it salary? You just don't understand what the margins are. So I would be very hesitant, especially if your property management company is touting the fact that they have an in-house rehab crew. For me, at least, has always resulted in incredibly expensive repairs that have eaten away at our bottom line. What we do at Property Rush, we simply vet different vendors for whatever the issue might be. We then send them out, monitor, inspect, and provide that invoice to the owner with a 10% markup. So you are aware of exactly how much we charge for that service. You can also see what they charged. Everything is very transparent, above board. There's no question. So that for us has been a huge game changer, is just being very transparent with our owners and not worrying about having an in-house crew. Last of all, this didn't make the list, probably should have. We are month to month. Why on earth would we force anyone into a long-term agreement if you don't like working with us? If we don't like working with you, we want to have the ability to fire you, and vice versa. If you don't like us, you should be able to fire us. It needs to be a mutual benefit, and that's how the free market should be. That's how I believe business should be run. And so we never tie people up to long-term contracts. If your property manager has you doing a 1-year agreement or multiple year agreement, again, you should probably run from them. Also, most companies put in language that they need to list the property. There's also going to be penalties if you cancel with them. None of that with us. We just don't believe in it. The reason why I started Property Rush was because I'm an investor with multiple properties, came to Chattanooga, looked for a property management company, met with 20 other companies, and just did not find anyone that met that criteria that I just went through. Because of that, we had to start up our own company to service our properties and our investors that also have worked with me for decades. And then now we're in a position where we are able to offer this to everyone else in the greater Chattanooga area.